He was lost but now is found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. He was lost but now is found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. One day Jesus was preaching to sinners and such, with some teachers of law saw the crowd. He welcomes the sinners and eats with them too. They muttered with voices too loud. Jesus told them this story. A man had two sons. The youngest one said to his dad, "Father, give to me now all the shares that are mine." He divided the wealth that he had. Soon the youngest son left with money in hand. He moved to a land far away. He spent all his money on fanciful clothes and on food and on drink and on play. It didn't take long for his wealth to be gone. Then a famine came over the land. The son had no money and nothing to eat, and no one to lend him a hand. He was lost but now is found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. He was lost but now is found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. He needed a job, but the best he could find was a job feeding the piggies their slop. With no food in his tummy, the slop sounded yummy. He wanted the hunger to stop. He thought of the workers who work for his dad. They always have plenty of food to eat. Instead of me starving, I'll go to my dad and I'll humble myself at his feet. I will say, "I am not worthy of being your son. Let me work as a servant instead." So he came to his senses and headed for home. For the slop and the piggies he fled. His dad saw him coming while quite a way off, and he hurried to him at a run. He hugged him and kissed him. The boy said to his dad, "I'm not worthy of being your son." He was lost and now been found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. He was lost but now is found. He was lost but thankfully now is found. The dad told his servants, "Now quick, bring a robe and bundle the robe round my son. Put a ring on his finger and shoes on his feet. Then cook up a feast when you're done." My son who was lost is now found and at home, and everyone there started to cheer. When the older son finished his work and returned, he said, "What is all this music I hear?" A servant explained that his brother came home and his father had covered a feast. Now his brother got angry, refusing to go, thinking this wasn't fair in the least. When his father came pleading for him to come in, he said, "Look, all those years I have slaved. I've done all of the stuff that you asked me to do. I've always been good and have behaved. I've never even gotten a goat for my work, but my brother is given a feast. Though he hasn't been sinning and wasting your wealth and not honoring you in the least." "My son," said the father, "what's mine is all yours. You've been home, you stayed safe and sound. We must celebrate knowing that your brother's alive, because he who was lost is now found. He who's lost has now been found out. He who's lost is thankfully now been found. He who's lost has now been found. He who's lost is thankfully now been found."